Zach, I hear you had a bad day at work.
Basically, a man shit himself.
Oh.
And I smelt it before everyone else did, and we had no idea it was happening until several people pointed out, there's a huge smear of shit over there. I thought, I knew I could smell something.
In your place of work, why?
I have no idea. Eve stood there for long enough, and I think he had an accident, and none of us noticed.
Was he wearing a kilt or a skirt? How did it end up on the... Or did
No
it just
idea.
travel down the...
I don't want to discuss the mechanics. All I know is just excrement was ingrained into the floor after
assume
that.
then it wasn't a solid...
Or was it kind of like along the dotted line? Was it kind of... Did you...
It was a smear with some footsteps going out the shop.
Oh, so they just like... That's intentional.
You don't accidentally step in shit. I'm like... Especially in a...
I think it was someone who had a
game?
problem. It's a CEX. I think a man had a problem, and yeah, I didn't feel good for him.
That is...
At the same time, though, like, adult nappies exist. I think you should be...
So Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry fucking Christmas. And welcome to Urgent Rewrite. We only podcast that's brave enough to start on a shitting on the floor story.
Oh yeah.
Also,
we've got Aiden back.
Also Aiden back.
Hi everyone. You can tell I'm here because the tone was immediately lower than it's ever been.
I'm really upset about this podcast.
I'm very pleased to be
I
back.
have the perfect...
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, I have the perfect joke, but you got to cut it.
Come on, do it.
It's not as bad as what Kanye stepped in.
Just bleep his mouth. Just...
Oh.
It's lovely to have you back.
I've been...
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be back. Zach, it's an honour to meet you for the first time.
We've met before.
And...
We've met before.
I know, that was the joke, but...
You horrible man. Am I that unmemorable?
Aiden lives quite a celebrity status life. He has no time for no namers like you, Zach.
I gained a whole 1 follower after my last appearance on this podcast.
It was us.
And do you know who it was? It was my alt account, actually.
Oh, okay.
Wait, did you guys follow me? I gained 2 followers. Thank you very much.
Yeah, because I was on the Urgent Rewrite Twitter account. I was like, oh, we're not following Aiden. And then I went back onto the profile and I realised, oh, we were doing a thing if we were only following the 3 of us.
Yeah.
I was like,
see, that's
it'd be a bit harsh to unfollow now.
See, but also it's like it's like a... I don't want to say it's not, ARG is not the word, but like all the stands, you know, they're like hunting for clues about the next episode of Urgent Rewrite, and they see like, oh, you know how like is it KFC only follows like, what was it, 11 people called Herb and like the Spice Girls?
Yeah.
Instead it's like, oh, Urgent Rewrite used to only follow the 3 hosts, but now they followed this Aiden guy, and like, oh, it's like when a new VTuber drops
Conspiracy.
on HoloLive. They do like a whole build-up. I've not actually watched it, but I've seen some of their stuff on Reddit.
This is a game theory akin to Five Nights at Freddy's. What happened on the bite
Speaking
of 87?
of, Shaggy.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Shaggy.
Matthew Lillard is playing...
Yeah.
He's playing who?
He's playing William Afton in the final Five Nights at
playing
Freddy's
who?
film. William Afton.
William Afton.
Who's William Afton?
I too was confused.
I'm not caught up on my Five Nights at Freddy's lore.
Dude, you need to start watching more MatPat.
Now, I watched a 5-hour-long lore video on it about 6 months ago, and I think is he the Purple Man? Is that...
William Afton? No, I thought he was the guy, the phone guy. Is he not the protagonist of the first game, and then the 4th game?
Maybe we could Google this, but I think it's funnier not to.
We don't need a Five Nights at Freddy's film. We already have Willy's Wonderland.
Is William Afton Springtrap? Because I saw it was tweeted with a picture of what I think is the Springtrap one.
This game is has a whole world that I feel like only really cringe kids know.
It's one of the few games I've seen where it's like it has so much extensive lore and none of it's in the game.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
None of it's worth being canon.
It's a weird... No, it's an interesting story, but it's very clearly just written by MatPat and the occasional little bit that Scott threw at him.
Again, none of it's worth being canon. Written by Matt Pat says it all.
Interestingly, do you reckon they'll credit him in the film?
No.
He'll be in it.
Like,
He should be a
either, like,
writer.
in the credits, like, thanks to Matt Pat for making a fucking cohesive story.
I don't know if Scott Cawthon will even get a mention because he stepped away after finding out that he donated to Trump.
It'll be based on characters created by.
Yeah,
That'd be
he'll
it.
get money from it out of the way.
Or if they just completely fuck up the law and then they go, good luck explaining this one.
Well, what was it? I think Willem Dafoe was attached to it for a moment.
Willem Dafoe?
It's a big
that man
film.
just salts his name.
I hope he plays Chica.
Who's Josh Hutcherson Peter Boy playing?
I reckon he'll be.
Peter
I reckon
Boy.
he'll be the main character, the guy
guy
who
on
has
the
to spend the
cameras.
Well,
5
didn't-
nights at Freddy's.
Oh, the name.
I don't know the names.
That's a
George.
character.
He will be one of the Among Us.
You know what? They do use vents in fight. Maybe in like as a Easter egg, like Freddy's gonna climb in an event and be like, "Do you remember those
And then a
TikToks? It's
big
like,
fucking-
Gregory, have you seen the hit game Among Us?" And then
A big fucking red blob just is like ahead of him. You just see two toes
Yeah.
just peeking out.
Josh Hutcherson turns around. He's only lit by candlelight, and he's like, "That was pretty sus." That's award-winning dialogue just there. What has this show devolved into?
I don't know. We're just.
I'm really, really upset.
This
We
is
used
a
to be a
game
country.
theory, is what it is.
last thing I'll say on the Five Nights at Freddy's film, because this wasn't even part of what we were supposed to be talking about. Do you think they've, and I wonder about this with any film with anthropomorphic characters, do they spare some thought to like, the furries are gonna fucking love this?
Zootopia,
Like when they did
100%
Space
did.
Jam,
Zootopia
Zootopia was made for the
100%
furries, and I'm not a
Yeah.
furry, but even I
Michelle
was
has
like, you know
insider
what,
knowledge.
that giraffe has a very long neck.
Aidan, I don't want to break it to you, but have you seen any other giraffes? You're not going to believe this.
I realised I was about to confess a dark secret, so I diverted to a giraffe because it's the first
yeah.
thing I could think of. I
Yeah.
will not admit which animal in Zootopia I thought was at least a 7 out of 10.
It's the fox in it.
Can we cut this? Because I regret everything I'm saying.
We've all seen Judy Hopps hentai. Like, let's just get
Yeah,
past that
it's
fact
shown
and
up.
we'll be happy.
Yes, even if it is unintentional, we have
Yeah,
definitely
it exists.
seen-
It's just it appears.
Smash or pass.
No.
Judy Hopps or Sonic the Hedgehog?
Well,
That is the question.
Well, but is it my Sonic OC or is it?
Sonic has got big feet.
Is that Sonic game out now?
It is, yeah. It's really fun. It's one of my games of the year. It's really good.
I had heard mixed things about it actually.
It's really broken, but it's a good game. Like,
You haven't had people returning it.
no, actually, no. It's not actually quite all right from everyone. Everyone's like had good things to say.
I remember when it was announced, everyone was like shitting on it. Like,
Well, like it does the thing where it's like it plays really, really well as a 3D thing, but then the second it wants to be a 2D thing, it can't remember that it needs to be that, and it fails appallingly. And it's like you can clearly see where they ran out of time, and it was like we needed like another 2 months to fix this stuff, and they just didn't get it.
Because the problem that I find with a lot of Sonic games is it's hard to find reliable source of if it's good or not, because Sonic fans are insane and will
Yeah, we
take
are.
the bare minimum as the best Sonic game ever made.
I feel like they've just been so malnourished for a while. Like,
The last good one was Sonic Generations. Oh, I guess Sonic Mania. But Mania was made by fans, so...
I got 5 minutes of Sonic and Knuckles and just having a chat about their history, and Tails talking about his feelings with Sonic, and I felt like I'd been more alive than I was in the last 10 years.
More than Sonic Boom?
Oh, they had something worthwhile to say that was meaningful, and it gave me hope for life.
I have no clue what any of you are on about.
I'm just smiling and nodding, Jacob.
Watch me one day, because I may give a long, long chat about Sonic Frontiers someday somewhere. But
I'm sorry, but this all feels like you're trying to avoid the question.
oh yeah, I'd fuck Sonic. Too long, didn't read. Yeah, I'd fuck Sonic.
It feel like he'd maybe go too fast though.
But that's the thing, it could be over quick. So if you didn't want to do either, you pick the faster one.
But I feel like Zach has this hard on
But
for Sonic
Judy
at
Hopps.
this point, so
Do you like a woman with authority?
It's the Lady D effect. I like the idea of someone just being able to pick me up and just throw me through a wall. I'm just cool with that.
It is appealing.
I want someone to do an edit of, is it the 2006 game where like he kisses a human woman?
Yes.
Just put Zack in place of that woman.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. It's really, really weird, that game.
We'll put you in the volume stage. We'll have like the Unreal Engine and everything around.
Yeah, we can
We'll
do
sort it
that.
out for you, Zach. Don't worry.
We'll realise your dreams, Zach. We know a guy.
We'll get Jim Cameron on the phone. Like, he'll do it. He's not busy. Like,
I hear you like blue people.
no, he's not got another 9 hours of fucking Avatar to make in CG and then cut down to 3.
Avatar 2 is cinema.
I feel like I'm going to enjoy it, but I'm not like particularly excited about seeing it.
What did you think of the first one?
I don't remember because it was so long ago. I thought it was fine, and I saw it a few more times, and I was like, I'm a bit bored of this now.
Your exact thoughts of the first one will be this one.
Oh, okay.
This one's more like emotionally resonant. It has like a lot more character depth, and I don't know, like if they just showed me like a documentary inside this world, then I'd be happy, even like with no narration. Just put a camera like CCTV or something.
I mean, like,
But-
I was like 11 when the first one came out. So like, I feel like a lot of it just sort of went over my head the first time.
I was 9, and I think it was like one of my first proper like fully remember the whole experience of going, because I think it was like the WoW 3D and everything.
I remember more of seeing Ratatouille in the cinema than Avatar, but
I think even at 9, I still rate that as my best cinema experience. Like, even at 9 years old, we were all so enraptured. There isn't one that's topped it for me since.
was that Ratatouille or Avatar?
Why don't we let the audience decide?
Yeah. I
What
never
was it?
ended up watching Avatar in cinema, but we got the 3D DVD, so we'd watched it on TV, and it's a much more cozy experience when you're watching it and you've got the fire blazing at like Christmas time, and the whole family is just gathered around the TV watching blue people battle for nature. So fuck.
We did a staff show of it the other day at work, like took in the Blu-ray, and it looks like it could have come out yesterday.
Yeah, it's
Like,
still
it's
incredible.
Still incredible.
That's what he future-proofed it.
But then it's weird seeing the new one and being like, oh shit, no, it does look noticeably better. I think it's kind of retrospectively aged the last one.
Do they keep up with the pony? Is it the tail or the ponytail that they interlock?
Yeah. They
because
have a lot of that in the new one, don't worry.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay.
thank
I know why
Oh,
you go to those
excellent.
things, Aiden. It's there.
I just remember
No-
being
no
like, I got
giraffes,
pretty hung up
unfortunately.
on the fact that like, realistically, it doesn't matter. But I got a bit hung up on the fact that it was like how they fucked, and it was also how they linked with the animals. And in my head, I was like, are they fucking the animals as well? And
Well, I think it's kind of them at one with nature and everything, but yeah. No, I think that is
It's.
quite
I think of it like the Force. We're all connected. Like, it
yeah,
binds the galaxy together.
Didn't they like edit the Disney Plus version to take the hair sex scene out or something?
Yeah. If you
So
watch
I saw
it,
something
yeah.
where it's like, hold on to your Blu-rays because they've changed it on Disney Plus.
It's been like that on TV whenever you've watched it for years. They cut it completely.
Boo.
Yeah.
why?
But they have a lot of that in the new one. Like, no
Really?
sex scenes with it, but a lot
Go
of,
and
like,
see it in cinema
intimate.
before they cut it out. They're gonna neuter the film.
Spade and Newton, Na'vi.
Gonna censor my boy Jimmy Cameron.
Release the sex cut.
I don't want to know anything, but did it did it feel its length? Did you feel like, oh, like I'm ready to get over this now, or was it just
Honestly, no. One of the things that I love about it, obviously being vague, is it kind of, while still telling like a very big story, it's still quite intimate between the characters. And so it kind of feels like as it's coming up to the final third act of everything, it's like, oh, okay, so this is what we're doing. It doesn't need to be this monumental thing, because obviously they've got however many sequels coming. It can just be kind of like this smaller, more intimate thing, and I think they really do that well in focusing in on the characters. But yeah,
Very excited.
and they're, especially with like the water simulations and everything, I don't think there was one visual effects shot that took me out of the film. Like, with the amount that's in it, there's not one that kind of had me going,
With the small bits of like, screen checking I've done of Avatar so far, I've only been in like twice since it came out. The fact that I've gone in so many times and like I feel like nothing has spoiled for me yet. I just got to sort of experience the VFX just naturally, and I guarantee some of that bit, the water that I've seen in that, just you could just mistake that for like an ocean.
yeah.
Like, it's that fucking good.
Did you see
beautiful.
the big person in it? Did you see the cameo?
No.
Barney Stinson, the character from How I Met Your Mother.
Oh,
is in...
I didn't know what you were on about. I didn't want to steal the fucking spotlight, man.
It's one of his plays. He goes to...
He's out there for the Na'vi.
He goes to Pandora.
I was going to continue, but I forgot what the fucking planet was called.
I only remember it being called Pandora purely because, like, of doing screen checks and then just hearing "Welcome to Pandora," and I'm like,
there is one actor in it that he's only like a small bit part, but a few people in the cinema were like, "Oh, is that? Oh," and I was like, "Good."
I've got to ask: this is possibly the most important question, and you can leave this mysterious if you want. Does the papyrus return?
It does. In full force.
Yes!
That was my main.
Jim
thoughts.
Cameron, you madman! You madman!
They've
You did
changed
it.
the logo, but for everything else, it's still papyrus.
Greatest living filmmaker of our time. Well done.
Needs
Does
to
he
Ryan
use the new
Gosling's
logo
reaction.
in when it comes up in the film? Is it the new one, or is that in papyrus?
No, I think it only does like the name right at the end, unless it was at the start and I forget.
Okay.
But it was like the logo; it wasn't just papyrus.
It's the ultimate. It's going to be like the Avatar version of the Stan Lee cameo. You got to spot the papyrus in the film.
If it was the title, though, it has to be with like the iMovie transitions of like the lens flare and everything.
somewhere Ryan Gosling is watching it and then just a single tear forms in his eye as he remembers the SNL sketch.
He's like, oh, I'm going to have to go back on SNL.
New cast and everything, he's gonna have to adjust. Well, speaking of casting,
I tried setting it up a few times for you, but I've not quite
yeah,
mastered
I was
the
trying to
segue
get there
yet.
as well. That's why I brought up casting right there with SNL.
Speaking of casting calls, the next one for my next film's going out very soon.
Good.
Thanks for the support, guys.
That sounds very exciting. Tell us more, Jake.
No, it's fine, Michelle. You go.
Speaking of casting, have you guys seen the Henry Cavill stuff?
Had my moment of silence for him.
Kind of sucks. Like,
That wasn't a long enough moment, Michelle.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, it kind of sucks.
It's just really shitty because like it feels like DC must have known, right, that there was like a potential that DC was going to crumble and turn into something else. Like, this was a always obvious fact that could have happened. So the fact that they just used him as like a way to sell Black Adam tickets feels like really disingenuous to the fans and to his career.
From what I've seen, it was more on The Rock than
Probably.
the execs. From what I saw, like, he was very much pushing for it because he wanted to set up like Superman v Black Adam, and it seems like he was trying to cement himself as sort of like the new figurehead, I guess, for the DCU.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Rock hate from this the whole way through, which
And he's
makes sense.
Yeah,
I think.
which it might not be deserved. Like it's purely conjecture, really. But
I mean, it's like The Rock's apparently unfollowed Warner Bros. And the Black Adam stuff, and the whole load of people are passing comment on it, and it's like, I feel like we just don't really know enough about the ins and outs of what's been going on. There's a lot of private things, there's a lot of like actual people and emotions and stuff that we just aren't privy to.
Probably. But I would still say, from like the outside looking in, especially towards what the fans have been like told for like the past maybe year, over a year, however long Black Adam has actually been like a concept for The Rock to promote on Instagram or promote on fucking whatever social media account he has. It's been like the thing that he has driven as like, I'm going to be this superhero. I'm going to be the next big superhero. And
he was for about a month.
Yeah. He's unfollowed every Black Adam social now. He's fully like dropped himself off, and it feels like Warner Bros spent all their money on marketing through The Rock's like social stuff. Because I think, what was it? There's like accounts that you can see to like, or like websites that you can see to like what their rate is for like a post on whatever account, even if that's just like their regular post. And for The Rock, it is like £1 million a post.
Oof.
Like they spent a lot of money on his Instagram.
For what? For like one Instagram post?
Yeah. Is that because of like his following and potential
his following,
reach?
The amount of people that will see that, the Instagram stories that he does are less, obviously, because they're like thingy, but like that's a lot of money that they put faith into The Rock.
Yeah.
And for that to then just sort of all be dragged under and feel like they had to send in Henry Cavill as that last resort still, maybe that they just needed to bring him in with Shazam.
He's got 354 million followers on Instagram.
Jesus.
So when you think like that's a lot of people. That's more than the entire population of the UK.
It's proportionally worth it, right, for them. But it's definitely like the amount that they did spend on it. Like the numbers are all lies. We don't know what the actual number is for its budget and how much it ended up costing them. But it can't have made much of a profit with the amount that it tried to bring in.
That's where I'm kind of like, oh, I feel sorry for you, Henry, but at the same time, like, you're kind of a bit of an idiot. Like, you bet all this on Warner Bros. And The Rock, like, with everything pointing to that. Well, like, whoever he bet on, it was like, what about that seemed a promising picture? What about that felt?
Well, I mean, if you're Superman...
Yeah, if you're Superman, it should be an easy pick, right?
From what I've seen, like, he loved the character. So, like, even if it was like even it's like too good to be true, like you'd probably go for it.
Yeah.
But,
to me,
he's just been kind of fucked over.
It really sucks on that fact. In the reason like I have like a little bit of disdain for how The Rock has posed it is purely based on the fact that like because he had faced up and made himself Black Adam for the past year and a half. Like I don't think I could go a couple posts on Instagram without him mentioning it, even in passing, as something he was genuinely excited for. But it felt to me like an ego at first moment because he didn't want Black Adam to be introduced with Shazam at all. That was the thing he literally fought DC with, saying because they wanted him in a Shazam 2. He's not in Shazam 2.
He's a Shazam villain.
Yeah, and he's not in Shazam 2 because of it. He got his own film.
Yeah.
He wanted to be the big league. He wanted to be part of what the new structure of DC is going to look like. And it didn't work because no one knew what Black Adam was. People knew what Shazam was.
Well, I think that kind of leads into a bit of... I'm quite interested in all your lot's thoughts on this. Did you hear what Tarantino said about movie stars and like the superhero films and stuff?
I haven't.
He said about how... I can't remember exactly, so please don't take this as like an exact quote.
Like a paraphrase.
It was something like... These actors aren't movie stars, it's the characters. Because it's like on a... I'm trying to think of like a random one. Like on a... to keep it relevant, on a Shazam poster, very rarely you're going to see Zachary Levi's name on it because it's Shazam is the character. That is the selling point. Whereas obviously you used to get the old, like, and most other blockbusters, like you look at the Dune one, that has everybody's names on it.
I have a little bit to say on that, but I think Aiden will have a lot as well. So I'll just want to say my little bit.
I saw the tweet, and just what he was saying, was basically what you said. But it was just like you go to see Avengers, not to see Chris Evans, but to see Captain America and the Avengers.
I think in that sense that's 100% the case for a lot of it, and I think Aiden will adjust and have more to say on that fact because you take in this superhero media a lot more. But
I do.
For me and a lot of people, I went to watch like Iron Man, or I watched Iron Man films because I like Robert Downey Jr. Like there are people in the, like Florence Pugh as fucking Yelena is one of the selling points of Black Widow.
And there's also a reason why they don't, like, obviously I know sometimes they do, but they don't always cast unknowns, because if that was solely the case, then it would be a lot cheaper to get someone who wasn't like a known entity to I don't think
it's necessarily like a case of it's not like a clear-cut case between each one, but I definitely see like people watched Endgame and Infinity War because all of them were coming together. They didn't come in because they went, I want to see what Robert Downey Jr. does it. You went in because it was like, this is Avengers, this is the big one.
Having said that though, like to get to that point though, like when Iron Man, like you said, you go to see Iron Man because it's Robert Downey Jr. But like when Iron Man first came out, like Robert Downey Jr. was like fresh out of jail. He hadn't been in that many big things. Like Iron Man was an unknown character, so when the first one came out, like you were saying, like it was, you go to see Robert Downey Jr., not Iron Man. And like Chris Evans was like, he was like a B-list like teen comedy movie actor. Like he did Fantastic Four as well, but then he became super, like no one gave a shit about Captain America. And to be fair, they didn't give a shit about Chris Evans either, but like after a while it became so I don't know, I feel like his argument doesn't really work in a lot of ways, but I can see his point.
I do agree on that fact as well, but I will say that a lot of them did have an appeal in America. Like SNL, that's where Robert Downey Jr. started. Like that's a big institution, especially when he was getting up and before he went into jail and everything. Like he did do a lot of these films and stuff, and he was a big character actor and a big thing in America. And then he became a big thing around the world. I think it brought it to a lot more people, and I think that's a bigger reason why people went to watch it rather than just because, Iron Man.
It was like we have the best of both worlds as well. Like you can go and watch a superhero film because you necessarily want to see that character, but there's plenty of films being made today where it's like you will go to see it for the star. Like that is the entire reason Tom Cruise is as successful as he is why Ryan Reynolds gets to make the projects he makes. Like there are still movie star films being made. Like it's one sector of the industry. Like that's, it's not necessarily your favorite part, but it swings and roundabouts. It's what everyone wants to see.
I will say that my final bit, and I'll let you go on, sorry. It's that I think Paul Rudd's the only one that I would say ultimately is still Paul Rudd rather than Ant-Man. Because I don't see him as Ant-Man ever. I see him as Paul Rudd every single time.
He's a good example of, you don't go to see Ant-Man for Ant-Man, you see it for Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Like, especially the first one, actually, because I when they announced Ant-Man, everyone was like, what the fuck
I went
is
for Edgar
this?
Wright,
Like,
to be
Marvel's
fair.
lost their minds. Well, we know how that ended up, so...
But another thing that Tarantino said about it, and this I think I'd pretty much fundamentally disagree with, is he said they're not necessarily good. He was like, they're not good actors, they're just good roles, because you have all those years of history and everything. And I think maybe within those films you don't have the context to maybe explore their whole acting talent, but I kind of very much disagree with it, because it's like, just look at their stuff outside of those films and even some of the stuff inside it. And so I think a lot of Tarantino's argument was, a lot of it's just there in the character, and anyone could come in and say those lines.
I also think that loses a bit from when you think of Shang-Chi, because my favourite character in Shang-Chi is his sister, and she's not in any comic. So...
Exactly. Like Robert Redford. wasn't really it was a name on a page, and he made that his own thing. Like,
Yeah.
Sam Jackson made a new Nick Fury. Like, yes, it's not a massive far cry, but it's its own thing.
Yeah.
Like,
But then that's to harken that back to what DC is currently doing and how that kind of affected what came with Henry Cavill. I think Henry Cavill going from... I don't think he was a big person prior to Superman. To going to Superman.
He'd been in a few small
Yeah.
films, I think.
And then going
he
to
was
Superman
he was
to
in The Man
stop-
from U.N.C.L.E. That was it.
Yeah.
That was after
That
Superman.
was
though.
2015. Yeah.
That was after Superman. My God.
Yeah.
He was in Stardust. He beat up Daredevil.
Yeah, he was.
did.
That's
Yeah. That's a
Because I
deep
know his
cut.
biggest claim to fame was the Tudors or something, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, he was in
TV
that.
show.
Yes, yeah, he was.
Did he?
yeah.
Did he do a lot of stage stuff? Or
Probably.
was it?
Don't know. We should know
Yeah,
this.
like
It's
before,
part of our
he-
law. We should know.
Yeah, we're supposed to know everything about this.
Is there a statue enshrined to him there?
They fucking should be actually, but like whenever he comes back, there's always like a big thing about it, and people go and like meet him at the airport.
When I
Not
was
so much now, but like back when he was actively Superman.
when
that
he
was
made that
definitely
Instagram post, it was on BBC News Jersey. So
happening. Yeah, I mean it's like that's what we got going for us. We got our milk, our potatoes, and Henry Cavill.
yeah,
Which is more iconic, the Jersey cows
Yeah.
or Henry Cavill?
the cows.
no,
You can't
I
explain
mean-
the cows. I'm
pass.
sorry.
The Jersey
Sorry,
cows.
You
do the
cannot
cows
equate
have
the
their own
cows-
Netflix show now
Oh, you're right. They don't anymore.
Can the cows do
anymore?
like the fist full out fist reload?
Can the cows reload their fit?
Yeah, reload his fists.
There was a period where I would see that on my Twitter timeline like 5 times a day, every day, and I never got tired of it.
And I'll never
yeah.
apologise for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wake up every morning. Just Jake's tweeted about it. He's doing the Lord's work. Well done.
Sharing it.
Now that you just said he's left. Well, he's leaving The Witcher. Is he doing one more season and then he's
No,
gone?
he's gone.
He's gone.
Liam
He's
Hemsworth.
gone.
Oh, he's not even doing season 3.
That's
No,
it.
they've filmed series 3
Oh,
with
fuck.
him, so that's yet to come
Oh,
out.
okay.
And then it will then be
Yeah, that's okay. Season 3's not out. They're releasing. There's a spin-off thing coming out.
Blood
I just saw a
Origin
trailer for it.
with Michelle Yeoh. Looks cool.
That's a
So
different barrel of worms, but I think he's very, very lucky to be escaping that program in regards to just. There's people who clearly like it and have a lot of love for that source material, but I don't think they've been given the means to adapt it as it maybe should be done.
yeah,
And I think that's
I
what he's
enjoyed
recognizing.
season 1.
Other than the time jumps, I really enjoyed series 1.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Not
I
seen the
didn't
second.
find, having been told that before I watched it, I didn't struggle that much with them. Like, it was a weird thing to do, but it's because they were adapting. It wasn't like one book; it was a series
Yeah.
of short stories.
It's like
they
I
adapted into
yeah.
one season.
It did help if you'd read it, and it was like, because you can pinpoint it, but I understand why it just
I hadn't, but
killed some people.
I read a BuzzFeed article, and that
Okay.
Did you find out which
And-
Witcher character you were?
I did.
Which one were you?
Did you toss a
I'll never
coin to
tell.
your Witcher?
No.
That still
Wow,
remains.
that's robbing.
That still remains a beautiful night in uni when we did both sing that in spoons. That was lovely. James Longmore, if you ever hear this, you're a real one. You sung that with me. You're a real one.
Did you just dox James Long?
I did. I doxed him.
Well, yeah, going from one depressing area of media to another, Zach, our boy Ash.
I know.
Yeah. Speaking of people leaving shows,
I can't believe it. Like, he's been there my entire life. Like,
Yeah.
it's been Death, Taxes, Ash and Pikachu. Like, it's so
You've
shocking.
been doing
'cause
taxes your whole life.
What are they? It's the only inevitability. That's all. Always will
Yeah.
be there, and now it's not even that. I couldn't believe it. It's such an uncharacteristically not safe move for Pokemon to take away their most
It's
marketable character and just like not
It's
even
the
Pikachu there
most
anymore. Is
unsafe
like
thing.
it's just
Have they said their plan with it?
he's. Yeah, they're giving Ash 11 more
he's-
episodes, and then it'll be 2 new people. Yeah.
But could this potentially be a killing off Brian from Family Guy situation where they then bring him back fairly soon if it goes south?
Nah,
I don't think so.
I think this is going to be like a
I think
definitive
they-
cut-off.
This is a restart.
Do you think they could bring him back? Do you reckon they'll have him cameo in the new show?
It'll be Elite Four in like the first season.
I
guarantee
think he's going to be completely gone.
Would that be too soon though?
What they'll
For the first
do,
season?
they'll like do what they've done recently, where they've done the alternative universe movies, because they've released like 3 of them and they've been completely non-canon, and they'll just throw him back in that whenever they need to like really bump up the name again.
Is there much appeal for those kind of films? Because it just kind of feels like if it's...
If you want to watch a Pokemon film, right?
They're
That's
okay.
what a lot of people want to do.
Like there's some fun stuff, and like because it's really bittersweet, because I've said for a long time the best animated stuff they make with Pokemon is when Ash isn't in it. Like when they make the little spin-offs or like the little
Oh,
shorts
the
or
little
just like
Bidoof one made me cry.
yeah.
Is it, did you watch Generation? You probably had.
Yeah,
Was it
I've seen it.
Generations?
Yeah, that was incredible.
I watched that, and I've only played like half the game, so a lot of the stories didn't make sense to me. But I was fully invested. Like they were fucking good.
It's
Are
just
they-
really weird to me. I don't know.
Are
Like,
they getting rid of Jesse and James then?
That's really terrifying. That's what killed me as well, because I thought I'd gotten over
Yeah.
it, and then an hour later it hit me. Oh my god, I'm gonna lose Team Rocket as well. Like,
They're
think I'll
it's,
lose Team Rocket.
all gone.
it's just
it
I think
might
they
not
have
be
to.
Jesse James. It might be a different team.
Well, I mean
Rocket.
that is. I don't care about everyone else's who's there. It's Jesse and James and Meowth. That's right. It's just.
Does it
without
feel
them.
like they've been running out of stories for them?
But yeah, but they've been running out of stories for Ash since like 2010. Like, but they've managed to keep it going.
He's got to defeat every gym
I was-
leader. Okay,
Yeah, it's just.
they'll invent a new island and he'll have to come back.
They've done a massively interesting job this series, where it's like they've finally fulfilled some things where it's like he now is the world's strongest trainer, and they've brought back some massive legacy characters that we haven't seen for like 20 years, and like really close some things off. So it feels completely right. Like this is the time to do it if ever there
I
was.
feel like they've
But
been
it's
building
just
to it. Like
it's just such a shock that it's been done, because I would never. I'd put a mortgage before like on the line if I had to bet that this was ever going to happen. Like.
do you think part of it could be that they couldn't think of a way to work him into the Paldea region?
Yeah, I think.
like, Because if it, I've played the game, I don't really understand the mechanics of, because it seems like just anyone can join the school.
Yeah.
But like it seemed like if he wanted to do the tournament, he'd have to enroll in the school, be a student, wait for the treasure hunt, and then go do it. And then like rather than try and like bend
Well,
over
it's just,
backwards to be like Ash just moves to a different country and enrolls in a school for like a summer and then fucks off again.
Well, it's like it's too much baggage, because
sure
like
that's not
Ash always like buggers off at the end of a series. Like there's going to be a new gen, right? I'll leave all my friends and go off to the new one. But they've now got the thing of like he is the world's strongest trainer. How do we create stakes? We can't introduce someone new. Like it was brilliant to finally see it. I've been waiting my entire life to see him become the champion, but it was the death bell. It was like we know this is going to happen now.
Was it Gen 4 was it the Sinnoh series that he almost won?
He came in
Was
the
it, like, second
he was
place
in the
he got?
semis in the it was in the Sinnoh one, yeah.
Because I've not watched that far. I just occasionally see Zach tweeting about it and getting very like invested in it.
Well, it's just like I have like even in the last episode, like they brought his fucking Butterfree back, and we haven't seen that Pokemon in 20 years, and it's like when they're dropping things like that, and
It feels like
because it feels like the end.
right?
It's such an end of an era. Like it feels like a Doctor Who going, or like any character that I've always had there. It's gone.
Well, no Doctors lasted that long, yeah.
Like
Please.
there's been periods where Doctor Who's off air, like Pokemon's been on constantly. Sorry, go on, Jake.
Yeah.
Please don't hurt me, but doesn't Pikachu talk now? Won't he say like bye to...
Yeah, that's a non-canon thing. Thank
That
God.
was
That was the not. Is that the one where
They
people are like,
remade-
I only want to be with you?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
made it. Did it in the what was it? They remade 2000.
Yeah, it was an anniversary kind of like mock-up of the first episode, and if you ever want a really fun
That's
time,
not the CGI one, is it?
no, just
No, that was Mewtwo.
It is
Strikes.
very funny.
Yeah.
Every so often, I'll go and find the tweet that like
oh, it's hilarious.
is of just
the
everyone in
audience
film-
losing it. It's like they're
Yeah.
so scared. It's like
Everyone in the
"What?"
cinema like what? If we find it, we'll put it here. But it's
Pikachu, why won't you get more Pokemon? It's because... I always want to be with you.
But no, I think it's just... I'm massively excited for what happens next. It needs to happen. I think it's the right choice, but at the same time, it's like just fucking thank you to that character. Like, I've had so many moments in my life of hardship and just I don't know how to progress and I need to dig deep, and I've looked, as stupid as it sounds, to Ash and Pikachu and what they've managed to pull out the bag at times, and to know it's gone is sad, but them's the breaks.
Do you feel like the last remnant of your childhood is just gone now?
Yeah. It's like I was looking at the other day, like my big three cornerstones of anime: Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and now Pokemon, and it's like all the faces of that, they've now had their big goodbyes, and this is the final one that I never thought would come.
I don't watch. I've never been into Yu-Gi-Oh, but my housemate is very into it. Apparently, they've been doing a similar thing with Pokemon, like bringing back past characters as well.
Yeah, it's been nice to see.
Apparently, it's just the thing to do at the moment. But speaking of past characters and time travel, what's this? We got Doctor Who news.
All right, I'm out. See you guys.
This just in, the news at 9.
Oh, we got an outfit drop. I was going somewhere with that, and I lost it on the way.
You'll get there one day. You'll get there.
I'm still nervous. It's my second time.
You'll wake up in a cold sweat in 50 years and be like, I've thought of the perfect way to segue.
Yeah.
And now this. Yeah, what did you think of the outfit?
I like it.
I like it. Yeah, I like the orange jumper.
It's very he's got like Gallifreyan like tattoos on his nails, which is cool. I can see a lot of people seeing that and be like, oh, they've made him gay, but it looks cool. So yeah. I saw in the replies, I saw someone referring to the Doctor as using like they them pronouns, because it's like, I mean, technically that is appropriate now, like even if it's like at the time a guy, it can be either. And someone was just replying like, why are you using fucking like liberal bullshit pronouns? It's a he.
Like, do you remember the fucking show that you're watching?
It's like, isn't the whole point
is that
they
what
them applies to everybody?
Generally, yeah.
Yeah. To be fair as well, it was Shooty and is it Millie? I forgot her name. It was both of them actually. So the person saying it was probably actually referring to just both of them. But the person saw that, just immediately saw them saying they look really good.
Yeah.
And just instantly got offended by it.
It's just Twitter bots going insane.
Yeah. But I've digressed from the point.
Yeah. I like the outfit, but the one thing that I will say is it's very like it's not very like over the top like the Doctor has been for like the previous 3, I guess, at least. Because Jodie's was definitely a lot more over the top. That's just a fact. I really like Jodie's outfit. I think Matt's is just incredible. The bow tie and the tweed is really good.
Oh, his one was perfect. I love his. I don't like his second outfit.
No. Capaldi's like magician sort of I'm warming up to more and more. But
that's my favourite.
It's very much just a magician.
Michelle, one day you will like Capaldi's era. One day. When you get sense, you will like it.
There's a very tactical move that's been done by Russell T Davies in regards to this costuming. He's like, I want this to be huge in America. I'm going to make this the easiest cosplay outfit on the planet. Yeah. Like, I could put this together on a budget if I had to. Like,
well, that's the biggest thing, is that they want everyone to cosplay it. That's the thing they did with Tennant's outfit, was like, I want the kids to wear the little suit. Like, that's
I think that's
easy
another
to do.
thing, like with the Sonic sunglasses, where that was to make it a lot more accessible for people who can't afford all the toys.
Oh, I hate
and
it.
for everything
But it was also a velvet suit, which is a bit more expensive than
well, yeah, but the idea of just having
a
the glasses.
toy fucking little.
They tried selling Sonic sunglasses like
They
merchandise.
just look like
I'm like,
Ray-Bans.
why would
They
I
look
buy
good.
that when I have sunglasses. That was a misstep, I think.
Yeah. But I
But
just don't know.
I
It
like
just,
his
to
outfit.
me,
I would
it's
say it is
out
quite
there.
over the top though. Like it's a lot of brown and like I forgot
It
what
really
you're wearing.
suits-
What's the pattern called? I forgot the
like a
Checkered.
tartany.
like a checkered pattern.
Yeah.
Tartan. Yeah.
Well,
I'm hoping it's like a Christopher Eccleston thing, and he wears like a different color top under it.
yeah, I think he will. I like it, and I think it suits him. Like, he looks good in it. It just, to me, doesn't really scream like over the top Doctor. So I feel like this might go more grounded again, like what RTD did with Eccleston and Tennant, which I'm all fine for. But I feel like I've been on a roller coaster for the past 13 years, and I'm going to go back to just going on like the treads, and I'm like, this is a bit weird.
The most exciting thing of Shooty Gatwa this week, though, did you see the Barbie trailer?
I fucking did. Huge day for annoying people.
I loved it. I loved it. Why did it do 2001?
It's fucking brilliant though.
It was high camp. It was beautiful. And like, what was it? The fucking the outfit that Barbie is wearing. What was it? Is it Cara Delevingne? I always get Margot Robbie and Cara Delevingne mixed up in my head.
Cara Delevingne, I don't think is acting at the moment.
No.
Yeah, she is.
But
She's in Only Murders in the Building.
No.
Selena Gomez.
I don't know if she is in anymore.
She is.
She wasn't.
Oh,
it.
is she?
She wasn't it?
Last thing I saw about her was she was having a bit of a substance issue, but
Oh.
And she's in that Carnival Row show,
Yeah,
which I'm
that's the last
amazed
thing I
has
saw
even
of her.
got past the first season.
Either way, she's wearing the first Barbie outfit, and it's like they're clearly like taking so much attention to this lore about Barbie, and I think it might be a really cool like proper piece about this, like how
Isn't it
feminism
still
has
coming
changed
out
how
same
Barbie
day as
looks and
Oppenheimer?
things. Yeah,
I
they're
know
about
it
the
probably
same
won't be in
time.
the actual film, but I was just sold the second there was just a gigantic Margot Robbie on screen.
Fair enough.
It's a hell of an achievement for Greta Gerwig when it's like your first three films are going to be just undeniable bangers, like
Yeah.
Lady Bird, Little Women, and now Barbie. Like that's a hell of a free film run. She's like in the canon now. That's perfect.
Yeah, what a filmmaker.
Oh yeah.
Incredible.
I mean, the fact that she's been given permission to do that as well, because I can't imagine anyone, like any exec or like person who owns Barbie was like, I want a Barbie movie, and it's like, now this is the finished project. Like, I can't imagine this is what was envisioned.
Do you reckon, obviously it seems like it would be very different in execution, but do you think they somewhat used Lego Movie as like, this could like in their sales pitch, if this could very easily be just an advertisement, but let's make an actually good, interesting film?
There's not really an excuse not to do that anymore, like after the Lego Movie. Like, did anyone watch the Playmobil movie?
Oh, David Tennant's in it, isn't he?
So is Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah. I remember
Was
seeing
it good? I
trailer
didn't watch
for
it. It just looked crap.
I mean, like, they've kind of got the best of both worlds, because, like, if this is bad, like, or if this is great, they've got their, like, great art piece that says something, but then they have a fucking empire of animated children's Barbies film that, like, is just that advertisement, like, Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses coming to DVD. Like, that's... They can have both, so I think it's great that they've taken that choice. Like,
Barbie as like a name and a brand has very much changed in like the past, like however many years. Like, well, she did like a YouTube series. Like Mattel did it with Barbie, and it was more like getting kids to teach them like social skills and things like that. That were more like you don't have to conform to stereotypes and things like that. And it was proper like actual, it was like disguised as vlogging, which meant that kids could get into it more accessibly with what they're doing anyway. But it's not really advertising anymore. It's more like Barbie is this character that has to be for kids to learn and play and grow up. I think that's hopefully what this can do for more people, as well as just being high camp and great. I'm just excited for it. And then it's also releasing the same fucking couple weeks as Oppenheimer, which
The same day, isn't
is
it?
probably
one of them will be pushed. 100%. One of them will be pushed.
both of those just have every actor in the world right now in, so no matter what, they're gonna get a payday.
Who's in Oppenheimer?
Every famous white
Everyone.
person you've ever
I
known.
don't think I've seen anything about this.
Robert Downey Jr.
Really?
Google. Do yourself a favor. Just Google the cast for Oppenheimer. Just,
Yeah.
my only upset with the Barbie trailer is that Jeremy Strong wasn't in it. Apparently he's playing one of the Kens, and I need to see that because that's gonna change my life when I see
Did they
it.
have I didn't see Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell's in it?
Will Ferrell's a Ken as well.
Jeez, that's amazing.
Oh, are they all Kens?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all Kens.
I need to catch up on my Barbie lore. Oh no, I have seen stuff about this. Okay, I've seen the poster with Cillian Murphy. I remember. Okay.
Yeah. The thing I'm really surprised about with Oppenheimer is that they recreated the the nuclear bomb.
But did it for real?
He's capping. Fuck off. You haven't done that.
Well, no, obviously it's not nuclear.
You can see
but...
it.
Was he just bragging that he set off a nuke for the film?
Essentially. Well, it's not
A
actual
bomb
nuke,
equivalent
but-
to, in terms of like spectacle, but obviously not
Minus the
any
radiation.
preferably.
Christopher Nolan's just going to keep, because didn't he crash an actual like Boeing 747? Didn't he? Because it was cheaper than CGIing a crash. And I guess he was like, it's actually cheaper just to build and set off a nuke than CGI one. He's going to get to the point. It's like, actually, it's cheaper to actually just blow up the Earth than to CGI it. So sorry, guys, but my film's got to get made.
It's cheaper to rebuild and then smash to pieces a Soviet town than it is to...
It's really weird. To me, I don't. Yeah, I can. A lot of it is like I can see how these practical effects can enhance a film and things like that. And generally it's kind of a cool spectacle and really interesting to hear. But for this one, it just to me was like, why? Like we have mastered explosions in it CG. Like that is a thing that we can do.
But also, at the end of the day, practical effects just quite fun, aren't they?
You know what is fun? Dyeing fucking Ryan Gosling's hair. So, which is better and which is cheaper?
He does look good.
He
He looks
yeah.
really good.
It does look very good.
But would it have been cheaper to CGI his hair?
Why don't they try and CG all of their moustaches to be gone?
Oh, no. I'd purge that from my brain.
Hear me out. When James Gunn reboots the DC cinematic universe,
Yeah.
what if every actor films with a mustache? And then as sort of a staple of the franchise, they digitally remove all the mustaches except for one. And since they don't have a Stan Lee equivalent, but as a nod to Stan Lee, because he had a mustache, you have to spot the one character who hasn't had their mustache digitally removed. In fact, they never had one to begin with. They've had a mustache digitally placed onto their face.
Now you just I was losing it for a moment, but now I'm fully in. 100%. Get out of Wonder Woman.
James Gunn
Should
tweet
be
me.
the
I am
eagle
available.
from Peacemaker should be the one with the mustache.
Eagly.
Release the mustache cut.
It should be someone they could be tricky about it as well, because it'd be someone who wears a mask and like you just never know. Like we CGI'd a mustache on his face, then CGI'd a mask over the mustache.
I'm really not in any way like interested in seeing anything if they've got to do next other than like maybe another Batman, but like what's a character that like, or a property or like a thing they could try that like would get you all individually excited. Like if they drop a Booster Gold or a Question movie, then I'm maybe back in, but
Condiment King.
very good. Very good, Jacob.
Yeah. Mish, I don't know how deep your comic knowledge goes for like abstract characters. You watch the Lego Batman movie, just pick one of the ones that Joker introduced at the start.
The
Pick a
Daleks.
red- The Dalek.
Mish
yeah.
just wants
The
like
Eye of
Mish just
Sauron.
wants to fuck me. I forgot how like away from itself that film got.
Yeah.
dear.
I lost it.
Mish just wants a Harley Ivy film. Like
You want
we've
it as
spoken to
well.
you.
Tell me everyone wants it.
Look, obviously I want it as well, but is it at the top of my slate? I'd say I can wait till phase 2. I think
You need to set
fucking
up their
basic
solo
answer,
Yeah.
because we
films
already know.
first.
Yeah. We need to
Yeah,
bring
we
them
need
in
solo
one
films
by
where
one.
we want to build up the romance, you know. He's already confirmed he's working on it, but I am quite excited for James Gunn's Superman film,
Yeah, he's the one writing
even though
it.
it's not going to be Henry Cavill. Yeah, he's writing it, and I'm a big fan of like how he handles characters, And having not been a fan of how Zack handled Superman's character, I'm very looking forward to Gunn's approach to it.
I'll stay quiet there.
It's weird though, because he doesn't really do solo films. Everything he's really done is ensemble. So this is sort of a new thing for James Gunn. Well, for us,
The
to
thing
see
is,
for James
Superman
Gunn
does
on this
have
scale.
a bit of an ensemble. Well, I guess not in the same way as like Guardians or anything, because like,
Guardians
he's
or
got like
Scooby-Doo
Lois, he's
or-
got Jimmy. If he wants to, he can have Crypto. He probably won't do Supergirl or like Superboy in the.
I mean, wasn't it said somewhere, I don't know where, this could have just been a random tweet from a random person, but isn't it one of the reasons why they ditched Cavill is because they're going for like a young Superman?
Yeah.
Which is where I'm
Yeah.
losing interest, because the last 6 Superman big projects have been, besides Superman and Lois, have been early Superman. Please, just give
No,
me
but this is
middle
the
of
new
career.
one. This is the one for the next 10 years.
Yeah, but I've had so much of early career. Like, come on.
I don't mind that as much for Superman because I've still not seen a version I'm happy with. It's Spider-Man where I'm like, can you just give us an older Spider? And speaking of Spider-Verse, he's got a kid in that now, Peter B. Parker, and I'm hoping that might rub off on the comics because Spider-Man in the comics has been in like fucking deadlock for fucking years.
Is Peter B. Parker in the new Spider-Verse still Jake Johnson, or have they recast him? Because I remember he wasn't attached for a while.
They tag his name in the trailer at the
good.
end.
Yeah,
Because I remember the first trailer, they didn't say his name.
Yeah.
So
That's-
do you think
that's
that
good
means they've
for
added
us.
him in like retroactively, or they just were keeping it a secret? Or
They might just not have known if he was going to come back.
What was the issue? Like, why wouldn't he come back? Like,
I think he's signed on a few different shows at the moment.
Yeah.
It could have just been availability. Like
He was waiting for New Girl to recall.
he's got that basketball show. What is it? Hoops on Netflix. Is that still going?
What was the other one? Minx, that HBO just cancelled and then got rid of the first season of.
that's why I'm like to Henry. Why did you go anywhere near that company? Why did you go anywhere near that company? That's a fucking scummiest shit on the planet.
We can end the DC stuff off like from here. It'll probably be the last thing we talk about. But
Just to answer Zach's question quickly, Birds of Prey 2 would get me on board.
Other than my Superman answer, I would quite like a Green Lantern Corps film.
Yeah, I agree with that. Give me some Jon Stewart, please.
what do we think is going to happen with the Flash then? Do you think we'll get it anymore?
What, do we think we get the film?
Yeah, considering like everything's going under the wire and we've just had like many recalls and weird ones.
I don't think they're scrapping any of the films. I think they're releasing them. They're just finishing off what's coming out, but then it's like, but it doesn't fucking matter. And because I saw someone on Twitter complaining like, why would I see this then if it's not connected to a universe? And then someone's reply was basically, that's just the wrong approach to be taking to watching films. Like, don't see it don't see films because it's an advert for the next film. See it because it's a fucking film. Like, it's telling
To
its own
watch a
story.
movie. But it was more.
Yeah.
I'm more like purely based off of the Henry Cavill news, considering like there's a lot of restructuring clearly going on, and they'd made announcements that they're walking back. Do you guys think it'll be more likely that they'll cancel it, or are we gonna just get it? Because we haven't heard about Ezra Miller in a while, but that's also probably because Twitter doesn't work.
I think they've done a lot to push that under the rug as well. It's why we haven't heard about Ezra Miller now that they know where he is. Well, they are like. They can keep them very, very safe, and like you're not doing anything that fucks up this brand any further.
And also, it's like, obviously, I don't know how much Batgirl cost, but I don't think that would be anywhere near the amount that it cost for Flashpoint, because obviously, Flashpoint from ground one, like day one, was designed to be a huge blockbuster.
Did you speak about? I don't remember if you did another episode, but they've had a meeting apparently. The directors of Batgirl had a meeting with James Gunn.
Oh, good.
Did they?
Well, I supposedly, fucking what was it? Supposedly Warner Bros. And stuff had deleted it. So if it does,
I don't think they'd
exist
actually
anywhere,
delete it. Like,
I mean, as a tax write-off, legally they can't release. To my limited understanding at least, they can't release any of it.
yeah, I don't know if that's them like.
Yeah, that was the last thing I heard. I don't know if it was a leak.
Could they
or if
just
it
be
was
like
just a fake
discussing
thing,
possible
but-
bit like, because I have no idea about like the legality of any of it, but I guess there's like a very small like sliver that maybe it might end up.
I reckon they'll get
Coming
hired
out.
by James Gunn to make another thing, but whether
Yeah.
we get
They might be
Batgirl,
directing the Superman.
who knows? But
But like
won't-
as for the
don't see what
Flash film, I feel like obviously Ezra Miller's a piece of shit, but I think there's a lot of other people who worked. Like there's everyone else who worked on the film very hard. Like I forgot her name, but the girl who played Supergirl.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
I'd love to see that.
I want to see all of. I want to
and,
see
like-
both, like Affleck and Keaton go at it. It'll be
I'm not
fucking
that
cool, but
fussed
it's
about
like
Keaton. I was never that big a fan of.
Oh, knife to the heart.
I'm purely excited because it's like a new aspect for what we get from DC, and it would be cool to see rather than and it's the spectacle of the thing, but it's the fact that like obviously things are getting cancelled, and this is the one that everyone's gone. How is that one not cancelled?
For me, the new aspect to DC that I wanted and I got was the Batman.
Yeah, so
That's the interesting stuff.
Did you see that
Movies.
they were supposedly seeing if they could like work that into a cinematic universe?
I think James Gunn's come out and said that's not happening. I
That's
think
not true.
he's
Okay.
wiser than
Matt Reeves just backed him up with just like a nice clap. Just yeah.
I think at this point I'm curious to see the Flash just to be like, was it worth
All
being
of this.
pushed back? Like it's probably going to be a very middling film. But I think the reason they pushed it back so much was they were at the time hinging it on. I'm convinced it was meant to like reset their universe anyway,
Yeah. but
but less what James Gunn is doing and just completely restarting. But like New 52, Flashpoint, like pick and choosing bits to keep. Because like Mish, I know you haven't read the comics. I don't know if you, Jake or Zach have, but like it was like they rewrite like everyone's backstory except for Batman and the Green Lanterns. They kept all their history, which was then condensed into 5 years, and it was just very like what's working and what's not. Like
You could say it was an urgent rewrite.
Hey.
we're done. We never have
Yeah.
to do another episode.
Well
yeah, that's
done.
it.
Well
That's
done.
it. Yeah.
10 episodes and we're done, guys.
Podcast over.
10 episodes and we're done.
I was looking. Did you even release? Not to. Did you release 12 episodes last year?
We recorded 12.
Yeah, we actually did. That's actually true.
two lost episodes. Two lost episodes.
You, the people of the world, you lost the greatest conversation about Riverdale you would ever have seen.
We'll never know what the smash or pass was for that episode.
They missed out on a great story of me like going into a haunted house with a bunch of strangers.
You ruined their holiday.
You should recreate it one day as like a lost episode.
We only have the
reenact it.
telly snaps of that.
Yeah.
all I'm going to say, guys, is the
Story
final
time.
season of Riverdale is on its way. There's still time.
Have you seen the pictures? It looks like they're just going fully like classic Archie comics with it.
So you see, at the end
I
of
hope-
the last season, like Cheryl, she basically stopped an asteroid and reset the
I know they've gone
universe.
back in time
She reset the universe.
because she's a witch now, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's got
got
magic powers, and it makes complete sense.
Yeah,
it makes
complete
perfect sense.
She stopped an asteroid.
Thing is as well, because you watch season 1 and you're like, oh, I can see the seeds that they're sowing
Yeah.
here. Like they're so clearly setting all of this up.
Yeah. It started as a little show where Archie was too afraid to play guitar, and now we're saving the world.
I don't want to fit in. Why do you think I wear this fucking hat all the time? I'm a weirdo, and now I can read people's minds.
That was beautiful.
Smash or pass?
Hang on, I asked the questions. Don't get too big for your boots, buddy.
Be gone from my temple, or I will smite thee. For I am Cheryl Blossom, queen of the bees.